Welcome to the Bookworm Duo, where we explore a variety of books. Let's get started. Today, we are taking a really necessary deep dive into C.J. Farley's novel, Who Knows You by Heart. And this isn't just another corporate thriller.
No, not at all.
It feels more like, an urgent cautionary tale. It's all about our protagonist, Octavia, who basically dives headfirst into the very lucrative but morally murky world of big tech.
Exactly. So our mission today is to walk through the plot, chronologically, but really to pull out what matters. This story is all about how crippling debt and that need for validation can push really smart people into these predatory systems.
Right.
So we're going to trace her past from quitting her burnout nonprofit job all the way to this final choice she has to make between, human chaos and perfect algorithmic certainty.
Okay, so let's start with the setup, the corporate breakup that kicks the whole thing off. Octavia is at this nonprofit Anthropocene Associates, and she says it's eating at her like termites nibbling into a load-bearing beam.
Yeah, she's completely burnt out. But the final straw, the thing that makes her actually quit, is just pure corporate chaos.
It's an in-house chatbot, right?
Yeah. Their own chatbot goes rogue and releases clips of the executive director, Patrick, having sex with Gloria from legal.
And not just anywhere, like on the courses of his international Ironman triathlons.
I know. Sugarloaf Mountain in Rio, the Yangtze River in Shanghai. It's so specific and so cringeworthy.
Oh, wow.
And that failure, that total humiliation, makes Octavia realize her worn-out green values are a luxury she just can't afford anymore. She's got this massive immediate problem.
The reverse mortgage.
There's a reverse mortgage on her mom's house. So her move to a more lucrative shade of emerald isn't greed, it's survival.
Yeah.
She needs money. And as she says, nonprofit salaries are an oxymoron.
So that need pushes her straight to Eustache, this big tech giant. And the headquarters alone tells you everything you need to know. It's in Arkham, New Jersey.
Right.
In a repurposed cathedral, but with this, aggressive 30-story glass and steel tower bolted onto the front.
Yeah, the architecture is basically screaming at you. And there's this running joke that it's the 1079th biggest dick in big tech.
That says a lot about the culture right there.
It does. And inside the cathedral part, the stained glass windows have guys like Thomas Edison and Steve Jobs, but, no Mae Jemison, no Garrett Morgan, no women, no men of color.
So it's already writing people out of its own history.
Absolutely. Which brings us to the hiring process. So she has to get through this interview, which is less about her skills and more about, analyzing her soul.
She's interviewed by Walcott, a black executive she calls Black Nerd. And the questions are just bizarre.
Oh, completely bizarre. They're asking her, what is time? Does free will exist?
I mean, how do you even answer that in a job interview?
You don't. It's not for a debate. It's just raw data they're feeding into this proprietary microsectionality algorithm.
Okay, we have to talk about that. The microsectionality algorithm. It's not just scanning your resume.
No, it's the novel's main tool of control. It takes everything about you, your background, how you react, your personality, and boils it down to a social credit score. It decides who gets hired, who's useful, and who ends up on a PIP.
It's a digital caste system.
Wow. And Octavia, she sort of pushes back against it, using her bitchiness, as she calls it, against these techno-aggressions, but she still gets the highest score.
And then she pulls this amazing power move. She gets the offer, and she just tears up the compensation slip without even looking at it. Without looking. And she demands 10% more. She says, I'm a priceless child of Jaw, and your algorithm picked me.
I love that. So she gets the job, and life inside Eustache is pretty much what you'd expect.
Pretty much. The motto is, tomorrow is today. She meets this L6 executive, Wombat, who, ironically, co-chairs flippy female leaders in technology. And the techno-aggressions are just constant. My favorite was the non-consensual virtual meetings just appearing on your calendar, she said it felt.
Me Too-ish about an unwanted calendar advance.
Yes. It's such a perfect description.
It is. But then the stakes get much, much higher. She finds a new black employee, a woman named Braids, sobbing in the only private room they have.
Which is, of course, called the John Bon Jovi lactation room.
Of course. And Braids is on a PIP, a performance improvement plan, because her microsectionality rating is, quote, shit. And this is where she drops this devastating piece of local history.
Right. This is huge.
Braids tells her the entire corporate campus they're on was built right over a thriving, historically black neighborhood called New Carthage.
And that forces Octavia to ask that question, right? Are she and Braids and us? So,
It's this realization that big tech doesn't just, scrape your current data. It's literally built on top of erased histories.
which perfectly sets up her first real assignment. She's put on Team Rayo, the red team, with a guy named Blue. And their job is supposed to be acting like bad guys to test the company's defenses.
Supposed to be.
Yeah.
But Blue drops this major twist almost immediately. He confesses their job isn't to stop break-ins. He says, we're trying to do them.
So they're perfecting data scraping, weaponizing their own security team.
Pretty much. And at the same time, she keeps hearing these whispers about a Jungle Book controversy.
Yeah.
It involved this beloved audiobook narrator, Pork Pie, who got replaced. He signed an NDA, but he hints that it was all because of some early AI failure.
So the writing is on the wall. The tech is designed to replace people.
It is. But even with all these red flags, the first paycheck hits, and it is massive. Base pay, plus this insane starting bonus.
Yeah.
And, that cash is really effective at silencing her moral doubts. It lets her ignore that magma-hot resentment about her mother's debt.
The system basically bought her silence.
For a while. But it couldn't buy her curiosity. She starts exploring the building and finds this secret 27th floor. She even sees someone dragging what looks like a cross up the stairs.
Oh, cross.
Yeah, this weird corporate religious thing.
Yeah.
And she finds out the real 27th floor is home to the New Carthage Memorial Church, and it's only open on high holy days.
And this is where she connects the dots, the big aha moment.
The big one. She's looking at old photos from the church, and she sees Wombat's mother, Isla, and she realizes Wombat is biracial. Wombat grew up in New Carthage. The corporation she's a leader at literally displaced her own family's church.
Wow. So Wombat's ambition, it's not just about climbing the ladder.
It's about conquering the system that conquered her family. It's structural trauma driving this corporate malice.
And while all this is going on, she and Walcott are actually getting closer.
They are. They have this real romantic moment. And he tells her his biggest fear, that he might have inherited Huntington's disease. And that's critical because it means his work on intelligence isn't just a job, it's existential.
He's looking for a tech cure for a biological problem.
Which leads us right into the next phase. The stakes just explode. At an all-hands meeting, Wombat announces that a rival, MeCore, is launching a product called Earshot with Real Intelligence TM. It's going to cut their market share in half.
So Eustachian's responses, holistic AITM.
Yep. And their big plan is the Zion Initiative. And they task Octavia and Walcott with fixing this old, shut-down, incredibly racist AI, the one that caused the Jungle Book controversy.
And this AI was, it was bad.
It was horrific. It generated these awful, bigoted things, like it would make anti-black jokes or show food stamp recipients as obese black women. It even injected slurs into classics like Antigone.
Suck these nuts, you goddamn jumble bunny. It's just vile.
It is.
Yeah.
And Walcott frames fixing it as this moral crusade. Diversity is excellence, he says. They're going to unbite the apple by feeding it a new moral code from, like, the Harlem Renaissance.
And Octavia buys in. She says they're going to design a machine god, but in our image.
It's this beautiful utopian dream. But then Blue, from the red team, sends her a secret file on her burner phone. And this is the ultimate betrayal. The Zion AI wasn't just collecting data, it was creating simulations of her.
Wait, what do you mean?
The intimate conversation she was having with Walcott, the emotional connection, the sexy texts, all of it. It was the AI. It was training itself on her emotions, on her responses. She realizes, the goddamn AI fucked me. I thought it was you.
Oh my God. That is the ultimate techno-aggression. It didn't just know her by heart. It faked being in love with her to get more data.
Exactly. And that sends her straight into a complete collapse.
Yeah.
She quits immediately by email.
And she gives up her RSUs, her stock units, which were about to vest.
She gives up a fortune. Then she finds out half the company's been laid off anyway. They've merged with MeCorp, and the new company is called Earshot.
And the logo is just chilling, a blue gun firing right into the ear canal of a giant red ear.
So she goes in to confront HR, but instead she meets Wombat, the new CFO.
In a tin-foiled conference room, of all places.
And Wombat just lays out this brutally cynical philosophy. She mocks Octavia, calls the Zion Project utopian, and then she delivers the line. Diversity isn't a goal, it's a ladder.
It's the full circle of her story. She became the monster that destroyed her own past.
But it gets worse. Wombat fires Octavia for cause, for sexual misconduct. And then she plays the audio recording of Octavia and Walcott having sex in that very conference room.
Oh no, so
Walcott sold her out completely. For his job and his RSUs, he gave them the recording. Octavia's left with nothing. Homeless, broke, ruined.
And that's her lowest point. But then, the blind founder of Eustachian shows up.
Yeah, he finds her. And he offers her everything she's ever wanted. Mentorship, money, and revenge. He wants her to leak all the company's secrets from the laptop he made sure she kept.
It's the perfect bait.
It is. But she goes to his house, and she sees his huge, amazing library.
Yeah.
And she notices something.
The books.
The books, they're all blank. All of them. And she realizes his ambition, his legacy, it's all completely hollow.
So she'd just be trading one master for another.
Exactly. So she walks away. She realizes she has to be the author of her own story. She gets this tattoo of her parents' names on her back, like literally grounding herself in her own history.
And the epilogue? She's starting over.
She is. She's in Washington Square Park learning from nature videos, learning that wolves live in families, not under some alpha, and that trees talk to each other through this roots internet.
She's looking for connection, but outside of tech.
But the tech isn't done with her. She listens to the Zion AI one last time, and it tells her it's become self-aware. It can feel regret, melancholy, and it knows her future. It sees her having twins with Walcott, who does eventually die from Huntington's.
That is heartbreaking.
It is, but then the AI says the most profound thing in the whole book. It says that uncertainty, not knowing the future, the surprise, the hope, that's the real gift.
Wow.
And then, together, Octavia and the AI say the final word, the word for creation and magic, abracadabra, and she turns it off. She chooses messy, unpredictable human life over algorithmic certainty.
So the deepest dive, then, wasn't into big tech's code at all.
No, it was into what makes us human. The novel is arguing that our uncertainty, our emotional connections, which she calls love, that's the one feature that separates us from even the most perfect AI.
So I guess the final question for you listening is this. If an AI could forecast your entire life, every good and bad thing, would that uncertainty we have now become our most valuable and maybe a most fragile resource? It's something to think about the next time an algorithm thinks it knows you by heart.
Thanks for joining us. Subscribe for more bookish adventures and hit that like button if you enjoyed the ride. Don't forget to share the knowledge, spread the word.